Namaskar friends, welcome to the third video of the second chapter biological classification of standard 11 biology, and here we will go through the kingdom Protista of Whittaker. In the previous video we have already seen about the classification system by Whittaker and about the Monera. Video is already existing. If you have not seen, you can go through it. In this video we will go through the kingdom Protista according to our 11th standard textbook. So, welcome to Vigyan with Vishal Mulia. Welcome to Biology with Vishal Mulia. Welcome. Kingdom Protista is having single-celled eukaryotes, and all single-cell eukaryotes are placed in one kingdom, that is Protista, and that's why there is no specific boundary. There is no well-defined boundary for the kingdom Protista. You can say that what the mixer is for one biologist, a photosynthetic protistan can be planned for other biologists. Say for example Chlamydomonas. Many scientists are considering Chlamydomonas as a plant. They belongs to algae, Chlorophyceae, and many of them are classifying them as a photosynthetic protista member. So there is no specific boundary and there is lot of mixing in the protista. We have already discussed about the 2-kingdom classification and 5-kingdom classification, how the mixture happened earlier, and that's why protista is limitless or is not having clear boundary in the classification system. This textbook have included Chrysophytes, Dianoflagellates, Euglenoids, slime molds, and Protozoans. The member of Protista are preliminary aquatic. They are in the water because life evolved in water, and from bacteria this unicellular organism evolved before so many years, or you can say in the second stage of the evolution as a Protista member in the water. And at that time Earth was not having enough surface for the terrestrial ecosystem, and that's why they are mainly aquatic. The kingdom is forming the link between plant, animal and fungi. You can say they are the ancestors. Protista members are the ancestors evolved from bacteria, and from Protista this plant, animals and fungi are evolved. Being eukaryotic, they have very clear, well-defined nucleus with the nuclear membrane. Here you can see nucleus and nucleolus present in the Protista member. They have membrane-bound organelles. What exactly the membrane-bound organelle is, I have no need to explain to you. Many of them are having flagella, and many of them are having cilia also. So those who are having cilia are known as ciliates, and those who are having flagella are known as flagellates. Protista member is producing asexually as well as sexually. Here you can see in the life cycle of Plasmodium, the small part of the life cycle is asexual reproduction, while the majority of the part is other way. So they have both asexual as well as sexual way of reproduction. Sexually they are reproducing with the help of cell fusion, or you can say gamete fusion, leading to the formation of zygote, and zygote will give rise to new member. Protista, one by one we will go through each group. Chrysophyte, Dianoflagellates, Euglenoids, slime mold and Protozoans are there. One by one we will go through each group, and let me begin with the Chrysophytes. Chrysophytes include diatoms and golden algae, that is known as desmids. These diatoms are very beautiful. Their cell wall is having very nice architecture in such a way that you can enjoy the carving at the microscopic level in the diatoms, and that is the natural one. They are found in fresh water as well as in the marine water. They are microscopic. They float passively with the water current. So you can say they are planktons. Many of them are, or most of them are photosynthetic in nature. They do their photosynthesis. Diatoms are having cell wall with two overlapping shells, and that two overlapping shells are like a soap box, one over the other, and that way they open. The lower one and upper one is a theca, and they can open very well. The most important thing or interesting part is their cell wall is having silica. It is embedded with silica, and that's the reason it is indestructible. It is not disintegrating, it is not deteriorating, and when diatoms die, they left large amount of cell wall deposit in their habitat. This accumulation of the remains over the period of time, billions and billions years, it become diatomaceous earth. In our South Indian region, this diatomaceous earth is found a lot. This diatomaceous earth is gritty, and that's why it is useful for polishing. Even it is useful for face polishing also. Because it is inert in nature, it can be used for filtration of oil and syrup like material. Diatomite made from the diatomaceous earth are very lightweight. Even you can make the bricks from it, which is lightweight and inert. And this lightweight is helping them in the floating on the water. You can correlate it with the Ramayana, where the bridge between the India and Sri Lanka was made with the help of such kind of stones. And maybe at that time, Hanumanji was having capacity to determine the density with the help of judging the volume as well as weight, and finalizing that yes, it is diatomaceous earth and you can use it because it will float. So Chrysophytes played very important role even in the history also. Diatoms are the chief producers in the ocean. They are the main, you can say, or almost 50% of the photosynthesis occur in the ocean with the help of diatoms. Next we are moving to Dianoflagellates. These Dianoflagellates are mostly marine. They are photosynthetic organism. They have different color based on the pigment present there. It can be yellow, green, brown, blue, red according to presence of color. Their cell wall is having stiff cellulose plate on the outer side. One can see that stiff cellulosic plate here. It is having two flagella. Mainly they have two flagella. One is lying longitudinally and one is lying transversely. And that transverse one is present in the furrow between the cell wall plates. So they are having two flagella. That's why Dianoflagellates, two flagella containing organism. Very often these red Dianoflagellates, example is Euglenoids, undergo for rapid multiplication. Huge amount of multiplication will be there, and that will show, or that is the reason why sea will appear as a red. It is not red sea, but it is red tide, and this red tide is occurring because of Dianoflagellates. Red sea is there because of the red alga. That is different thing. Don't be confused. Red tide is happening because of Dianoflagellates, and this Dianoflagellates, guanolics, is causing is toxic to the marine animals, and huge amount of millions and millions of fish die, even birds die because of this guanolics, outbreak of the guanolics, and that is leading to damaging the ecosystem of that particular area, and even the not only ecosystem but even economics of the vicinity of the villages which is depend on the fisheries. So it is sometimes causing lot of harm to the environment as well as to the human being. Next is Euglenoids. These Euglenoids are mainly in the fresh water. Generally they are found in the stagnant water. They have cell wall, but that cell wall is not exactly cellulosic, but it is made up of protein rich pellicle, protein rich layer, that is pellicle, and because of the protein it is flexible in nature. This pellicle is helping them in making their body flexible, which help in the capturing prey. They have two flagella, one is short, one is long, and they can do photosynthesis in the presence of sunlight. At the same time, when they're deprived from sunlight, they can behave like heterotrophs. They predate on the other smaller organisms. So in presence of sunlight, they do photosynthesis and become autotrophic. In the absence of sunlight, they become heterotrophic and eat the other organism. And here their body wall, which is made up of pellicle, is helping in making their body flexible. Interestingly, the pigment which is found in euglenoids are identical to those which is found in the higher plants also, that is chlorophylls. And that is the reason why we can say they are linked between plants and animals, because they can do photosynthesis and they can capture prey also. The best example of euglenoids is Euglena. Here you can see in the video format as well as in the diagrammatic one. Next we are moving to is slime mold. They are saprophytic Protista members and their body moves along with the decaying twig and they engulf the leaves or engulf the organic material, and they move on the organic material, continuously eating that, or rather continuously taking it as a nourishment. Under this suitable condition, they form aggregation called plasmodium. This plasmodium is not the genus, but this plasmodium is the form, and this plasmodium may grow and spread over several fits. Under the unfavorable condition, this plasmodium differentiate and form a fruiting body, and this fruiting body is having spores at their tips, and these spores are having true wall, and because of presence of wall in the spores, we can say they are linked between fungi and the previous one. So presence of spore is only limited, presence of wall is restricted to only and only spore condition. Otherwise thallus is not having true wall. Otherwise thallus is without wall. It is having only plasma membrane. In the extreme condition, they are capable of surviving because they have extreme resistance against the environmental condition or against the adverse condition. They can survive for so many years, and the spores are dispersed by air current. With the help of air, they disperse and spread very well. They are very smart. While they are moving, they move easily toward the food with the smallest possible way. The experiment is showing, here you can see in the video, that they are reaching to the particular food with the shortest possible way without doing any mistake. So they are smart also. Next is protozoans. Protozoans are heterotroph and live as predator or parasites on other organisms. They are believed to be primitive relative of the animals, current animals. So they are our ancestor, you can say in other way. There are four major group of protozoans, that is Amoeboid protozoans, Flagellate protozoans, Ciliated and Sporozoans. Amoeboid protozoans are represented by amoeba. They are found in fresh water, seawater as well as on the moist soil, and they are parasite also. They move and capture the prey with the help of their pseudopodia, that is false food, like in a amoeba we can see here, and they are capturing, amoeba is capturing paramecium, one can see it very well. Those which are marine is having silica on their surface, and many of them are parasite on us. The best example is entamoeba. Entamoeba is parasite on us. Flagellate protozoans are free living or parasite. They have flagella, that is their identity, and that's why they are flagellate protozoans. They are causing disease like sleeping sickness, and sleeping sickness is happening because of trypanosoma. Initially people will start sleeping for more time and ultimately they will sleep forever, means they may die because of this disease. Ciliated protozoans are mainly aquatic because cilia is helping them in the movement also. They are actively moving because of presence of thousands of cilia, and cilia is helping in other purpose also. They have cavity, to which you can say gullet, and that is opening outside the cell surface. With the help of coordinated movement of row of cilia, this water is doing the movement, and the food which is present in the water will be steered into the gullet. That is their way of capturing food, and it can be exemplified with the paramecium. The last part is the sporozoans. Sporozoans are including diverse organisms that is having infectious spore like a stage in their life cycle. So spore is present, that's why they are sporozoans, and most of them are notorious. One of the example can be Plasmodium. Here this Plasmodium is a form, is a genus, is not the form which we have discussed earlier in slime mold. And Plasmodium is malarial parasite. It is causing malaria and affecting the large part of the human population. Plasmodium is one of the best example of sporozoans. So with this we come to the end of the protozoans of our textbook, and in the next PPT we will go through kingdom fungi. Till that, thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.